is there the right type of exercise for fat loss? This comes up quite a lot. How do I lose more body fat through exercise? And I just want to tie this up a little bit, because the truth be told is there isn't. I don't want to be as cliche as it's the one you enjoy, because I think, you know, that is certainly part of it, but there are probably better quality information I can give around that. Weight loss is very diet-led, but that doesn't mean we don't exercise. I say that all the time. And the truth be told is exercise complements the diet in numerous ways, but people kind of overplay the, oh, I burn X amount of calories today. Of course, that's relevant and that's fine, but really we should be utilizing exercise as a stress release when we're in a calorie deficit, when we're in a very strong calorie deficit, when we're recovering post-op. It can be quite a stressful process, so let's get outside, let's get moving, let's get fresh air, daylight, let's use our body in different ways to progress it. Highly rewarding and is a great stress reliever. Let's use it as an environment boost to avoid boredom. So, for example, if someone is sitting at home watching TV, they're probably in a more vulnerable situation to food compared to on a gym floor or in a swimming pool. People don't have that association with those processes and over-consuming food. Huge for things like head hunger and that. So it can be quite difficult to break bad habits, but it's quite easy to build new ones if we're consistent, and we want to utilize exercise to our advantage there. And also, what is optimal? It seems that maybe strength training is probably the most optimal thing to do post-op. It's very metabolic when working with protein. It's building lean muscle mass, or / retaining lean muscle mass. But also, you don't burn as many calories, which is actually part of its charm, believe it or not, because you're already going to be in quite a low-calorie diet for a large part of this process. So I think taking advantage of the low-calorie burn while, you know, toning our muscle. Patients can be aware of things like loose skin, and naturally strength training tends to be a bit more beneficial towards that than cardio. Does this make cardio wrong, or yoga wrong, or tennis or any sport wrong? Of course it doesn't. They can totally be present. There's tremendous benefits to doing these, but they should complement the strength rather than the other way around. The main point to make, though, beyond all this, is that doing nothing really isn't acceptable, okay? I think patients who are 6, 9, 12, 15 months down the line tend to always be a bit more up and down because they haven't implemented new metrics of success to go by. So what I mean by that is exercise is actually very predictable. If you do something consistently over time, you will get better at it. And that is highly rewarding. And it's highly rewarding when complemented by aggressive weight loss, because maybe these things weren't achievable before. If you work on a cardio basis, if you work your heart rate consistently over time, you will become a fitter person. If you lift weights consistently over time, you will become a stronger person. Your joint strength will get better. We've all got a level. People with arthritis, for example, might think, oh, I shouldn't do strength training. Don't put it on the heaviest weight, put it on the lightest weight. If you can't do that, fine. But usually people find they can do it, and it builds up over time. It actually helps the joint. No one's saying go above and beyond. One of my best friends is a physio, and he sort of says all the time, most people struggle when it comes to injuries because they try and do too much too soon for weight loss. We want to get away from that we can utilize the tool to our advantage throughout for this, but we want to complement it with sensible movement. As I say, we've all got a level, and the goal is just to progress that level over time, which is very, very, very achievable when the weight loss is occurring. So in answer to my question, is there the right exercise for fat loss? No. I think make it sort of as achievable as possible through what you do enjoy, but can we find an environment either at home, if confidence isn't high, for example, home workouts can be great. If time isn't of the essence, you know, family, full-time job, we need to prioritize 2 to 3 20-minute sessions at home. Light dumbbells, your tonic resistance band can be very beneficial. Myself or Julie can provide a program, no problem. Can we utilize a class environment, perhaps? You know, this is all sort of 6 weeks post-op for sleeves and bypasses and bands to allow the sort of recovery to kick in. But can we utilize a class that utilizes strength training? Obviously, benefits of a class. High atmosphere, great environment, usually instructor-led, music. These are real big benefits. Maybe a negative of classes, there's a time constraint. If you can't make the 6 o'clock in the evening on a Wednesday, then you can't make the class. That's a concern a little bit. And it's not necessarily specific towards your goals either. If you want to work your glutes or your triceps, you might find that you're not doing it that day and you haven't worked that area. So another weapon of attack is quite a good thing to do, is have a program in place that, again, we can provide for you in the gym floor and building that confidence up over time. And as I said earlier on, it's just a case of building the confidence up through implementing and repeating, and the body gets better at it. We can back the body on things like that. And that's a lovely message. The body is an ally of ours. It's not our worst enemy. We can utilize that to our advantage going forwards. But strength training in place, complemented by being active with walking, and then complement that with anything you enjoy to do, that is probably a successful training program with a couple of rest days a week, I'd say, as well. All the best from me. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.